This is To the Point with Michael Williams.
Good morning and welcome. This coming Tuesday, the start of public school in Martin County. Then later in the month, starts for our other 4 counties. In Palm Beach County, it will be all virtual learning to begin. Everywhere else, a mix of in-person and virtual learning. Amid coronavirus, so many questions. Many Martin County teachers say it is not safe to go back yet. And there are so many concerns about what education will look like. I spoke to our school superintendents to get their takes, all but Palm Beach County School Superintendent Dr. Donald Fenoy. He's waiting to speak until the state approves his reopening blueprint. We'll look forward to that interview at that point. Today, we do welcome first Superintendent Wayne Gent from St. Lucie County and Laurie Gaylord from the Martin County Public School District. How do you ensure the same quality for the online learner as that student who comes back to the classroom?
Well, that's the great question, and this is where I hope the parents really pay close attention. When we had the fourth 9 weeks of school year, the students would come on almost as they pleased, and sometimes teachers would be there, sometimes they weren't. This is going to be very, very structured. This will just be like the academic day, where you will follow your schedule. So let's say you're in high school in 9th grade, 8 o'clock you've got English, 9 o'clock you've got math, 10 o'clock you've got science. Your teacher will come on and be in front of you in the online, take attendance, and then do the daily lessons.
Mr. Superintendent, final thought, general message to both students, parents, and teachers as we set out on what has been historic in terms of the way we're teaching in the age of coronavirus.
Well, this is with us. We're going to make the best of the situation. Our teachers are well trained. Our principals are well trained. Our cafeteria workers are trained. We're ready for our students, whether it's going to be online or in person. We're ready to work with them. Many of these children on the 24th of August, we will have not seen for 22 weeks, almost 5.5 months. We want to make sure they're okay. We want to make sure they're healthy. We want to make sure they're safe. And, that's our role in public education. Just as important are the academics as the total child, the social emotional well-being of the children. And that's our highest priority.
Talk about your blueprint for reopening and why you think it makes sense to offer the combination of either online learning or letting children come back to the classroom.
Well, keeping with the Commissioner of Education's order for the emergency order to offer that 5 days per week in brick and mortar classrooms. So students have that opportunity to be able to come back to school live in person. The other option for our students, for families that choose to keep their children home, we have that remote learning option. It's a remote student learning option for them to be able to continue their learning at home with their district issued laptop devices. Some families do have their own technology at home, and that's a great choice for them, but we also issue district laptops for all children to be able to have one. The district option for the remote learning is that the children will receive the same lesson that their classmates are receiving in person at school. The only difference is the location where they're receiving it.
So they receive no less than their friend who decides to go to school. They get the exact same lessons.
That's correct.
Superintendent, teachers in Martin County and elsewhere have expressed concerns. Some say we don't want to come back to the classroom. We're worried about what if we catch COVID. When we speak about health on campus, how do we ensure to the degree possible that we keep COVID out of the schoolhouse, that we're protecting students and teachers? And what are the plans if there should be a COVID case or cases? How do we protect everyone?
So we have been working diligently with this all summer and as well as probably the end of the last semester, but working with our local health department, our local hospital here, Cleveland Clinic, local physicians in the area, and as well as our entire district staff here, working with the safety measures to the maximum degree possible that we can to obtain the distance learning. We also have a mask. We had put that in prior to the back to school plan, but for all employees to be wearing masks, especially when it's possible to maintain the distance learning. When it's not possible to maintain that distance learning, but they must be wearing a mask. So in transit time, students on the bus must be wearing a mask. In the classroom, we have sent out facilities. They've measured every classroom. They have isolated desks 6 feet apart when possible. Right now, those classrooms are clean. Those classrooms are clean. They've been sanitized. We will do another clean before students come back. So we are following all the guidelines that we possibly can to the maximum degree possible. But again, we all know that there's absolutely no 100% guarantees. I mean, we will do everything that we possibly can.
Now we turn to Okeechobee County Schools Superintendent Ken Kenworthy and Superintendent Dr. David Moore, who oversees Indian River County Public Schools. Mr. Superintendent, thank you for your time. Talk about your blueprint that will combine online learning with the chance for students to get back in the classroom, why you think it's the best, most focused way to go for our children this coming school year.
So we've got three options here in Okeechobee. I mean, we're starting the year face to face, and we're going to be starting on August the 17th. We're going to welcome students back just like they've always attended school any other year. But we do have a couple other options for our students. There's a hybrid model, or the innovative model, as the Florida Department of Education calls it. And we've named it here locally Okeechobee Sync, and that's where the students will be able to sign on and watch their teacher live in the classroom presenting their lessons. And then we have a third option, which is virtual, and that's mainly for those students and parents who are not ready to come back yet. And so they're going to take a little extra time off from coming to school, but we're going to still provide them all of the instruction that they need in order to meet those standards for their grade level.
Final brief comments, sir. It's a year of trepidation for parents and students. It's a whole new ballgame. Your final thoughts and message to parents and students and teachers.
So I can tell you this is, we're blazing a new trail. We know that this is new for everybody. We may not have all the answers, but any time that a problem has presented itself, we're problem solving, trying to make sure that we're doing the right thing for everybody. So there will be some growing pains and there will be some challenges, but we're going to welcome everybody back. We know that there are multiple reasons why we should return. For the benefit of the student. And I think deep down, teachers want to return. They just want to make sure that it's in a safe environment, and we're going to ensure that safe environment for them to come back to.
Doctor, talk about the concerns that have been expressed, not only locally, but statewide and nationally, about the sudden move to distance learning in the spring, and about students perhaps being behind and having to really start and climb a mountain as school begins again. What is your message to students, to parents and teachers, because we're in a whole new world, as you know better than anybody, with these new methods? How do we make sure we get everybody back up to par, back up to speed with COVID overhanging everything?
Well, the conversation in the school district of Indian River County has always been about just not getting kids back to school, but providing them opportunities to return to meaningful instructional environments, regardless of the environment that they choose. So one of the things that we did is we just didn't, close down the school year. We had our administrators go through a 10-week series of professional development, looking at leadership skills, looking at instructional environments to ensure we were prepared for whatever the reality was as we walked into what would be a new school year. So we really built a lot of momentum in the investment of ourselves and having a deeper understanding on how to provide quality instruction to students. Having the 15 days available to us in pre-planning is key to ensure the success of those meaningful instructional environments. So constant professional development, understanding what good instruction looks like, what our look-fors in e-learning experiences, connecting those teachers across schools who are in these new experiences really to plan and work together to put together meaningful instructional environments.
Final quick question for students at home, especially those who may not have a computer or computers at home. You feel confident that everybody in the virtual environment will have the tools they need at home to be as much a part of the learning experience as those coming back?
Absolutely. We did not ask for students to return their devices as we went into summer. We've already had 4 laptop distributions. We have another 4 walking into the school year. And, let's be honest. As we implement this plan, we need for every single child to be ready to move to a virtual environment, depending if we have a social isolation process or if there's a shutdown or cleaning of the school. We need to have those systems already thought of and prepared for. So some of the things our teachers are doing now are preparing for what happens if I have to isolate for a number of days. We want to be able to move right into a virtual environment to continue the instruction without losing 1 minute of instruction.
You can find my full interviews with all 4 superintendents on WPTV.com. Coming up, political surrogates on the virtual campaign trail this week, talking with Eric Trump about the polls, Joe Biden, and more. Please stay with us.